welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have questions or comments, we have multiple ways we can be reached. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those who need instant gratification, and the show's Twitter feed is at SkimPod, SKIMPOD.
Stays Crunchy.
For the more patient amongst you, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy again being spelled with a K.
Crunchy.
Hey, feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311.
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
We're available by Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, anywhere fine podcasts are available. And of course, at the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share wherever possible, including on YouTube, where we can now be found at Stays Crunchy. And over on Twitch, where we're still Stays Crunchy and Milk. Our personal Twitters are
Tatum 216,
Lunchbox 2099,
The Real ODP.
And I'm your host, the Internet's Tayrell 713.
Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy.
I know it's been 2 years, but see, the tribe has never fallen. Would have tried for singing, but that stuff is not my calling. The mic is in effect, so you know I'm never stalling. Walking through the door and all them suckers started hauling. Talk a lot of trash, but no one can seem to beat it. Pull out the microphone and watch the FIFO make you eat it. The MCs, they get jelly when the girls is in my belly. Kick a slow dance like the brother R. Kelly. Today's hip-hop draft, will I be top-seeded? Work too friggin' hard while all the West is getting weeded. Steady kicking style, so I reach the other level. Don't worry about getting gassed, I push the pedal to the metal. Always want this cause it surely beats the scramble. I'm Jordan with the mic. Wanna gamble? This I dedicated to all the honeys that be bogling. Cause at the end of the night, you know Malik will have his Trojans. But when it comes to nights like this, I got lyrics to go. Hello and welcome to it. It's Stays Crunchy Milk episode 441. And no, we will not be speaking into Sennheisers. This is the show for the week of April 18, 2022. And I'm joined by my best friends. It's Tatum 216.
Heidi Ho, neighborino.
It's Lunchbox 2099.
I decided to show up tonight.
And you get to know a real ODP again this week. You know what it is. Do a little news, do a little chitty chat, a little M and the assholes. Let me keep the motherfucking moving. It's great. I love it. I love doing this show. It is my jam. I love that we have people who listen to it right when it comes out, which is so strange to me. But people be commenting on it like early, like, "Oh shit, it went down like that." I'm like, wow, thanks for thanks for listening to a fresh ass, recently uploaded episode. But I dig it. Nick Jew hit us up, hit me up the other week. Hit us up the other week to say that she was getting caught up on the episodes and stuff. So I always love to my people who reach out to say, "Hey, I'm listening," and I'm like, thank you for listening, because I certainly love creating, and that's what's up. Because I'm kicking with my mans, and we just be making content, and it's lovely. I tells you. I'm just gonna read this whole story. You know what? In fact, I'm just gonna give you a quick little headline. I got both my stories this week are local. I didn't go digging through the world news. For now the fourth time, the Ohio Supreme Court has rejected Republicans' set of state legislative maps because they have a commission to make these maps, and they keep gerrymandering the shit out of them, which is now a violation of the Constitution of the great state of Ohio. And motherfuckers is mad but what it's like, they mad, but like they can't be too mad because it's always this one Republican who is like siding with the Democrats on the Ohio Supreme Court. Like, yeah, this shit does not do what it's supposed to do according to the Constitution of the great state of Ohio. And so now Governor DeWine is like, this is some craziness. This redistricting commission, with each iteration of this case, it becomes evident that a rogue majority is simply exercising raw political power. I was like, bro, that's not sincerely. That is not what's occurring. What's happening here is the Ohioans of the great state of Ohio say, "Hey, no more gerrymandering up these maps," and we did it in such a way that it was added to the Constitution of the state. Meaning it has to abide by what the people of this state have said. And they want to be mad about it, but the reality of it is this is what we voted for. And I'm kind of hype off of that. So I'm not saying this won't ever end up with us having a decent map in this state, because it won't. Eventually they'll end up taking us to like the Supremes, the nation's Supremes, and be like, "Hey man, they ain't letting us do what we want to do." And the way that court is currently laid out will not come out of this better. I'll tell you that. So, but I like that so far, like I said, including, like I said, one Republican is like, "No, bro, this is not living up to what is popping in the Constitution of this state. And I'm like, okay, right on. I check you for trying to abide by the laws as written, as opposed to trying to make up your own. But like I said, that story is longer than it should be. Plus, we've already read a version of it some weeks back. Guess what? Same thing still applies. These motherfuckers ain't got that map right yet. So that's what's up. This is a shorty, but a fun one from the good people we're seeing. It's from Vince. Won't tell me his last name. Won't tell me how to pronounce his last name. His last name is right there. It's Grzorgerek or whatever, but I want to be able to pronounce it correctly as respect for him. You know what I'm saying? But
like, are you like expecting him to like call you and be like?
Well, I emailed him. I literally emailed him the first. I was like, "Hey, I do a podcast. We oftentimes cite you as a source. I want to know how to make sure. I want to know how to pronounce your last name, so make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly on the show." So it's not like I have honest to God reached out to this man and asked, "Hey, bro, just so I'm getting your shit right and not ever fucking it up." But for those who maybe you have an idea how to pronounce it, I'm going to spell it out for you. It is Grzegorek. Grzegorek?
What do you think? Lunch?
No, not going to work here anymore.
It's weird. Not going to be here anymore. Well, anyway, this story is Good Samaritans rescued and revived a drowning man from the Cuyahoga River Sunday. Brian Zinzer hadn't really been out of the house since November, except to see his 4-year-old son in the hospital when the boy had open heart surgery late last year. But this past Sunday afternoon, with the sun finally gracing the sky, the Akron resident headed up to downtown Cleveland with a buddy to shoot some drone video around the Cuyahoga River. Filming on the east bank across from Nautica around 3 p.m., he saw and heard something splashing in the water. I wasn't sure what it was at first, so I walked over, he said. When I realized it was a person, I was like, holy crap. Oh. I looked around, but there was nothing to extend to him. I didn't want to get in the water at all, but then the man went under. A woman he thinks was with the man in the river appeared in shock, and only Zinzer's friend and 2 other strangers were around. I turned to the person next to me and said, I'm going to go in, but I'm going to need your help if he wakes up. I was scared he was going to take me down with him. The man was underwater, so Zinzer just guessed where he was, jumped in, and started reaching around. He was only like a body's length into the river, and when I grabbed him, he was struggling and started to breathe in water. That's when he passed out. There was 0 time, as Zinzer said. The short length back to the river's edge felt anything but. The water was frigid. Zinzer was gassed. He was trying to pull the man with him and get him in the position where the others could grab him. There wasn't a good angle. It felt like a full minute of struggling, but it was probably only 30 seconds. My strength was zapped. I was just yelling to him because this wasn't done. He needed help, and he's probably not breathing. He wasn't. I just started yelling to push on his chest, and I pushed the girl he was with toward his face and said, you have to breathe from him. The bystanders were pushing on his chest to get things moving and yelling for anyone who could hear them to help. He started breathing, and a nurse who happened to hear the cries for help arrived and got him into the rescue position. He recovered a bit before police and EMS showed up. They were asking him his age, and he knew his name, and he said, he knew his name. He said he was awake. It was so cold, and with him passed out for a minute, hopefully it wasn't too bad. A public safety spokesperson didn't immediately know where the man was treated. But I think I don't know, bro. That's just what it is to be this town, bro. I love it. I tell people that all the time. I promise you. Like I just had a conversation with my child the other day. Was like, I need you to make sure you leave this state when you graduate high school. But I love this place because I volunteered to come and make this place home. Whereas my child just happened to be born here, and I'm like, you got to make sure you go elsewhere, go see it all, and then maybe come back if you are so inclined. So it's both. I can love this place and also hate it at the exact same moment. But also, my child is, of course, a trans teen and then fucking a state that wants to just shit all over them. So, it is what it is.
You should ask if we got room for one more.
What's up? Oh, send him down there.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Gabriel just said he just got home. So, Gabriel might could get on this microphone. Yeah, that was your news, people. So, Hope you enjoyed it, or at least got a grip of it, or whatever. It's like, hey, thanks for sharing some Ohio news with us. And we of course jump over to first up as always is Tatum with the homeboy. Go off, King.
I will now sit up and properly get ready for the show. How are you guys doing this fine evening of April?
I am feeling all right, man.
I'm hanging in there, you know.
My mama called me
to the
last
left?
night to complain about Paramount Plus not working, and I was like, "Yes, that app is terrible." And we
Thank
walked
you
through
for
all.
Thank you for reminding me. I need to start watching that Halo show.
Oh man, everybody who loves Halo says it's terrible.
Oh,
Well, it's because like from what I've heard, it's not based off the video game. It's like loosely based off the video game.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
probably
based
more
off
in the
the
lines of the
Beyonce
books.
song.
I love you, man. All right, Ant, sorry.
It's okay. So Easter is right around the corner. To these podcast streets, Easter has passed.
Factual.
But so I was working on something for the show that I guess we can. Oh, excuse me. We can work on do in the future because we used to do. Well, I used to do a small segment called Ohio or Florida, and I was working on that. And my partner was like, "Know what y'all should do?" And I was like, "What should we do?" And she was like, "You guys should do a game where you name prices for different stuff and see who can guess it, or try to guess the price of something." And I was like, I don't remember if I came up with the Easter idea or she came up with it, but either way, we have a game this evening.
Fair
And I
enough. Let's
thought
go.
I'm so disappointed that Gabe isn't here today because I thought about it like this. I was like, Dan buys a lot of stuff in bulk, so
Mm-hmm.
it might be fun for him to try to narrow down the price. Gabe, for the most part, doesn't do the shopping. His wife does, so I thought that would be a pretty fun element. But T, on the other hand, is a jack of all trades, and he usually does his shopping in his house, and likes to pride himself on just knowing things in general. So I thought we were all, you know, all laid somewhere on the spectrum. So the name of this game is The Price is Real.
Dun, 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 dun,
How real, son?
We're about to see. Okay, so the first item on The Price is Real is speckled jelly beans, and I believe this is for the eight and a half ounce bag. What's your guess? Youngest always go first. Young Daniel.
What's the brand?
Brock's speckled jelly beans.
I'm gonna go with $4.29.
Okay.
You grab these prices today?
Yes.
$2.99.
Okay. So, since Walmart is pretty much nationwide, I'm gonna go with the Walmart price, and the Walmart price is $1.12.
Wow, for the speckled jelly birds.
Yeah.
Wow,
So-
I did not. That is shocking.
When you get this close to Easter, that's when everything starts getting half off. So this week is your prices should be real good if you're at all interested in treats.
Those are going to go even lower because like speckled jelly beans don't taste like shit, so it's not like it's anything else. All right, so moving on. Peeps, how much do you think? I believe this is an 8-count pack of Peeps. To give you a clue, I think
Don't clue. Don't clue.
Okay, no clue then.
Yeah. So just let's go with it. Regular yellow count of Peeps. $1.49.
Okay, that's T's guess. All right, what would you say an 8-count pack of Peeps cost, Dan?
$1.29.
Whoa! Look at you guys. Dan was closest. They cost $1.24. And you
Nice.
so we got one for Dan and one for T. All right. Now, how much would you say a pack a 8 no, I'm sorry, a 12 carton of eggs is?
Eggs?
Eggs. Not the brown shits, not just regular eggs, not nothing too outlandish. Not organic, not cage free, just regular a 12 carton of eggs.
$1.09.
Okay?
I was gonna say 89 cents.
No. They currently a carton of eggs is $2.10.
Man, the egg game.
See, and that's where the buying in bulk thing gets me because I was buying like the 36 pack from Sam's Club for like $5.
Mhm.
So I was trying to figure out where the
But has it always been $5 throughout these last couple years for you?
it's fluctuated from like 4 something to 5 something. It's usually depending on like supply and stuff.
Yeah, I usually get the 36. So yeah, there's 36 as well. It's two 18
Packs. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, two 18 packs, and I've paid anywhere from two something, like the higher twos, like 280, 275, something like that, to six, almost $7 for the same amount of eggs. Because I usually get those eggs like every time I go shopping, or when I go shopping, and those have fluctuated quite a bit. So, all right, how much do you think a Izod 4-piece suit for a child is? Because I mean, you gotta know how much a suit is for your baby to be fresh for Easter.
Come through dipped. Uh, hmm.
For a
Oh,
kid,
You said a 4-piece suit?
a 4-piece suit. That'll probably be
Probably come with the
pants,
shirt.
shirt, vest. No, I think it was a shirt, a tie, a vest.
I'll go with
It was four.
$34.99.
Okay, 34.99. Good guess, Dan. What about you, T?
And how? Wait, you said it for a baby, like toddler or baby, baby?
It's a kid suit.
Kid suit. Fuck. I'm gonna go $29.99.
Whoa. T gets that one at $27.99 for a 4-piece suit of Izod from Sir JC of Pennies.
Right on. Right
All
on.
right. So I want to make this one not just a tad bit harder, and it's a Godiva Easter bunny. So it's not the Hershey's, but
Okay.
it's not the one that come in a plastic bag that the bunny might fall out of. That's a 4-pound bunny. So
What is that brand called? You know that brand off the head?
I could look it up while we discussing, but that hard ass brick.
With the candy eye? Oh shit.
And it's solid,
Godiva.
not hollow.
Solid Godiva chocolate rabbit. How many ounces?
It I'm thinking if I'm not mistaken, it was a pound.
Goddamn, for real?
This one a ghost for $5.
Nice. Dan, how much would a Godiva 1 pound solid chocolate rabbit run you?
$10.
That feels right. I'm simply going to undercut him by a little bit and say $8.99.
Okay. First, that chocolate it's a Palmer baby
Palmer,
Benz.
yes.
Okay, so your guess, young Daniel, was how much again?
10.
10. Okay, so first, if looking at it, it is a 5 ouncer.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay, yeah, this drastically changes things. I would go with $4.99.
What
Did you
about
say
you,
Godiva, right?
Godiva? Yes.
Yeah, okay, $4.99.
Godiva was a
The
freedom rider.
The over
uh,
the overpriced Easter I mean anytime chocolate.
yeah, because they y'all be thinking this shit's good. It's simply not. Trust your boy on that. When you had good chocolate, you'll know. Anyway, I'm not delving into this. Box said a fiver. I,
He uh
I,
he
I, I
he said $4.99 was his price point.
yeah. So I will old school Price is Right him and say five and a penny, 501.
And with that 501 T wins at $5.99 for the Godiva 5-ounce chocolate bar.
Nice.
All right. So last but not least, you gotta go with the classic. Pa's egg dye. How much do you
Oh
think?
shit, son. I just I just
49
I,
cents.
I just happened to cop some the other day, but this is a drug mart, and this was like last week. So I probably paid the crack prices. Not even the crack price. I probably paid whatever prices. I paid $3.99, but also I got like the special kits. I got the
This the bare bones one.
if just the bare bones one. I'm gonna say how much you say, Box?
I said 49 cents.
Oh shit, my Jesus
Well, because
Christ.
I remember as a kid, they being cheap as shit. I haven't looked to buy a egg dye kit in 25 years.
As I'm pretty sure, like from the tales you tell me, your grandmother probably got it the day after, and she was a smart lady.
Honestly, I think I only ever did it with my grandmother like one time. I did it more with my stepmom.
Mm, yeah,
Still
I mean we
seems
go.
like a pretty smart lady. Will probably get it the day after, especially when she got more mouths to feed.
Oh, that's definitely the kind of thing they would have stocked up on and then kept in the closet for years.
I'm
Dope
gonna go.
idea.
I'm gonna go with the basic pie set, $1.50, $1.49.
Okay, and you going 49, so T wins again at $1.99 for the basic pause egg dye.
Feel like inflation got that one. Feel like last year
So
$1.49 defo.
T comes out the winner. Dan had three and T had four.
Feels good about this.
I feel like I go to sleep at night knowing that I did okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
did okay.
you did well. You did well. Hey, welcome to the show. It's the real ODP. Well, there you go, man. And thanks for another game show. I miss you doing game shows. So, not that I want that to be what you only bring to the table, because I enjoy your stories as well. But you're very good at that shit. Word to your partner for throwing in on that one as well. Quite
Yeah,
Well,
clear.
you're my Bob Barker.
oh, thanks.
Box man,
Yeah.
batter up, man. What's going on with you, bruv?
Remember to get your people spayed and neutered. So, aside from spending money while we're recording that I shouldn't be spending, I went out last night with the boys and I spent more money that I probably shouldn't be spending.
The boys.
The boys.
By the boys, I am referring to my steak group. So we met last night for the first time in a couple months, and we went to a place that I've been to one time before, but it was an enjoyable place. You guys will know it because we used to walk past it all the time. We went to the Marble Room.
Oh wow.
Fancy.
Yeah. So
The former National City branch. If you were wondering what used to be in there, people.
isn't it amazing how old banks look just like churches on the inside?
Very
Well,
the
it's all
cathedral of money,
connected to
baby.
money.
The cathedral of
Yeah.
cash.
Yeah. So I ended up having to take off work yesterday in an odd turn of events. And my little brother, so I was working Tuesday, and my little brother texts me and he goes, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And I'm like, usually when someone texts you out of the blue and says something like that, that means they're about to ask you to do something you don't want to do. So I text him back and I'm like, "What's up?" And then he goes, "Hey, can you take me to a funeral tomorrow?" I'm thinking, the fuck? Who the fuck died? because like I've been to too many funerals in the last 12 months. I'm like I don't need any more. So I'm like, well, I immediately my mind goes, I have this dinner reservation tomorrow that like I had to put a $20 deposit down on.
Hmm.
I don't really want to miss my dinner reservation. I'm
Why,
thinking, and
why would
also
you have to put a $20 deposit down?
I think like it's a sign of the times where like space at those places is kind of at a premium, and they don't want people just making reservations and then no call and no showing. You know, so the deposit shows that you're committed because it's non-refundable. So like if you just decide to like no show, they like at least get something out of you.
So was it $20 a piece for y'all, or just 20 flat?
20 a piece. So
God
like
damn.
we like my one buddy made the reservation and then we just all Venmoed him $20. So anyway, I call him and he explains the situation to me that apparently his friend. Now keep in mind, my youngest brother is a freshman in high school, and so he tells me that his friend's mother passed away. Apparently, she had gotten sick, and it was something to do with her lungs, and she didn't make it. So, um, I immediately think he's calling me. He's asking me because like my parents probably can't take them. They have to work and they can't get off or something. That's my thought.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking if it were me, if I was in his shoes, I would hope that someone would be able to help me out too. And now was I thrilled about having to text my manager while he was technically had called off for the day to tend to his sick daughter in the evening when he would have been after his normal work hours anyway? No. But I went ahead and did it, and I texted him. I was like, "Hey, my baby brother just hit me up to ask if I could take him to a funeral tomorrow. I know it's short notice. I'm sorry." And he realistically with work, we're so like not busy right now anyway. It didn't really fucking matter. And I wanted to text him then because I felt it was better than using a sick day that I didn't want to burn. So I ended up using a vacation day rather than a sick day, which, at least that's a positive. So I got up in the morning, and I'm getting ready. My stepdad calls me. He goes, "Oh, did you talk to your brother?" And I go, "No." And I'm thinking, like, why? And he goes, "All right, I was just wondering if you talked to him already today." I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I didn't know that he asked you to take him." And I'm like, "Oh, that's weird." And he goes, "I would have taken him." I'm thinking, well, why the fuck aren't you taking him then? And he like tells me that like he's mad at him because he tried to do something. And I'm thinking, okay, so he pissed you off. You're mad at him. He knows that you're mad at him. And instead of just confronting it, he's decided to drag me into it and made me burn my time because he doesn't want to deal with his father. Okay, this is all great. So I made the decision then that I wasn't going inside the church for this funeral. So I took a shower. I threw on some basketball shorts and a t-shirt and a hoodie. I went and picked his ass up. I drove him to the church. It was like right around the corner from my house. I sat in the parking lot for an hour, played on my phone. He came out.
Man, real life for the church.
I was listening to music in the parking lot, but just now I was looking at Instagram, and I've come to realize that I've only got like so many things that I want to look at on my phone at any given time. And then after a few minutes, I'm just kind of like done with it. But then I'm like stuck in the car. So I opened up Instagram probably 15 times waiting for new shit to load. So he came back out after about an hour and he tells me that like him and only 3 other kids showed up and that like hardly anybody was there. So I felt like real bad for the kid, because he's like 15, just lost his mom. And, they're telling me that like, hardly anyone really showed up. But like, I'm glad my brother, even though it was kind of shitty of him to involve me when he didn't need to, but at least he was like caring enough to want to attend his friends, be there for his friend,
Yeah.
And so he got in the car and, I already had told him beforehand that like I had stuff going on in the evening and that I had to be home by a certain point. He goes, "Oh, that's fine." He goes, "You just take me home." So I had ordered the Halo from Best Buy. They had it on sale for $20. So the church was like right up the street from where the Best Buy had to go anyway. So I stopped at the Best Buy with him and I did the whole pull up and they bring it out to your car thing. So they brought it out to my car. Didn't follow the instructions that I gave when I like pulled up and was like, put it in my back window, but they like still knocked on the passenger window and handed it to my brother. But whatever.
Does he look like a man to you?
So I went and dropped him off, and then I came home and picked up my Sam's Club order on my way home. And then I came in the house. I watched Moon Knight. Then I took a nap for a little bit. Unplanned nap, by the way. I was just watching YouTube, and I kind of fell asleep accidentally. Which, for me, I try to avoid the naps in those situations because the way my hair is, if like I take a shower and my hair is like in its dry state, if I lay down or my head rests up against anything, my hair immediately bends to the shape of whatever it was laying against, and I can't undo it until my hair either gets greasy or I take another shower. I have the worst hair when it comes to like bedhead type situations. So I fell asleep on my bed with like basically my face in the mattress because I was trying to avoid putting my hair on the pillow while I was watching TV.
You
Try to suffocate yourself, man. Don't do that.
I woke up with drool all over my fucking cheek because I think my mouth was trying to make sure that I had enough air passage and everything.
You should have cranked one out so you can use some natural hair gel.
I didn't want to be dirty, you know.
Something
Like
that.
there's just too many.
Dirty?
There's too many things that could go wrong with that, and I didn't feel like taking another shower.
Oh.
So my buddy comes and picks me up around 6. We go and grab our other friends, and then we head downtown. We ended up hanging out at the bar corner alley. You guys know it. We hung out there for about an hour and a half because like my buddy's a Hawks fan, and they were about to play the Hornets. So we hung out there so we could watch the game because our reservations were at 8:45, and like the steak place we're going to is right across the street from that bar. So we headed over there. Our table was basically ready when we walked in, and a really attractive young black lady led us to the table. I made sure to be the first one in line, so I walked behind her the entire way. Just so with our little conversation, I felt like I was setting a good precedent for the group, So she sat us, and then I realized. So there's something that I had heard, recently, or I've seen on the internet on Instagram, and it says something like, that you're well off when you go to places and you just order whatever you want without looking at the price on the menu. Like it doesn't matter because you know that you're good regardless of whatever the price is. And I realized that I am not well off, but I'm also not destitute. I'm somewhere in the middle because like whilst I am still looking at the prices of everything on the menu because I have to be conscious of what I buy.
Yeah.
I also didn't have a problem spending $85 for a steak. Whereas, like, I had a problem potentially spending $235 for a steak.
What was a $235 steak?
It was a tomahawk wagyu.
Mm.
Real Wagyu, Japanese A1?
That's the thing. They have the Japanese A5.
A5, whatever, you don't say.
Yeah. And so they had the kind of shit that was like 1 ounce was like $60. That's where I was at last night.
Nice.
So between the French onion soup and my steak and the cocktail I had and the sides we ordered and everything, basically what ended up happening is they brought the check and it was all together, and one guy paid it and we split it up. We didn't do the whole what did you get. We just chopped it up 6 ways and Venmo'd the one guy the money. So I ended up basically spending, with the $20 deposit I'd put down, $162 on dinner last night. The Delmonico that I ordered, the $85 steak, was dry aged. It was an 18-ounce dry aged Delmonico. Perfectly acceptable. I still have some of it in my fridge with me because I could not finish it. So I'll have some for tomorrow.
What did you eat it today?
I had a big breakfast, and I wasn't like hungry enough to want to go through the whole rigmarole of making that this evening.
I
So I'm,
understand
I'm,
that.
I'm planning on just making it for lunch tomorrow. It'll still be fine. But
There's special reheat instructions.
no, I've reheated enough meat to kind of have a hang of it.
Yeah, that's exactly how you get his hair gel.
I'm basically two options. I'll either just re-pan sear it real quick, kind of like hit it, or I'll put it in the oven for a couple minutes. You know. So I have to say though, I enjoyed the food. The service was solid. Um, I have fun going out as an adult with my buddies like that
Yeah.
because I realize I don't really give a shit how different I am compared to other adults. Like I'm looking around this restaurant and it's just like people in suit jackets and like people who are like not anything that I'm like. And I'm okay with that. You know, we're like, when I was younger, I probably would have been like, oh, I got to be more like these people because this is the place I'm at and this is the kind of people that go here. And, you know, I can't talk about certain things because it's not the way people here would talk. And like, no, we're at the table, we're talking about bowel movements and, you know, all kinds of like off the cuff shit that like I enjoy because I'm immature to a certain degree. But it's just like, I'm not ashamed of it either because it's things that happen with everyone. You know, like we were talking about how like getting older and like sometimes you're afraid to fart because you can't trust your farts anymore because sometimes you just end up shitting yourself. Like it's that kind of like shit that like people think you can't talk about in a place like that, but it's real life, you know. And if you can't talk about that stuff with your friends, then like where the fuck can you talk about that kind of stuff? So it's like I'm looking around this restaurant and all these people who like are, I don't know if they are who they are or they're trying to be something they're not because they feel like they have to be like that. But when I go to a place like that, I'm just being me. You know, so I enjoy that I was there with people who also didn't seem to want to like pretend to be something that they're not. We were all just there as a group having fun together.
And they're not judging you for being, a goof. They're right in there with you. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's why friendships is dope, man. Oof.
So I have to tell you this though. The steakhouse, the restaurant we were at, had by far the best cotton candy I've ever had in my life.
Whoa.
What the fuck are they doing different than cotton candy? Cotton candy is a real normal kind of vibe. So what are they doing?
I don't know.
How do you
Like,
get cotton candy?
so all right. So we were sitting there, you know, and in between like the soup and our steak coming, we noticed that some of the other tables had cotton candy. Like they had a blue cotton candy and there was a pink cotton candy floating around. And so like when our waiter came over at one point, I was like, "Hey, what does one have to do around here to acquire some cotton candy?" And because like my buddies were all talking about it, but no one wanted to be no one wanted to grow a set and ask.
How funny.
So
Y'all talk about farting in front of each other, but can't just ask about the goddamn cotton candy.
yeah. So I stepped up to the plate and I was like, "Hey, my man, how does one acquire this cotton candy?" And he goes, "Oh, all you have to do is just have something special going on." He goes, "It could be anything." I'm like, and so we were like, "Oh, this guy's birthday's in 2 months," or this guy had his anniversary here last week because our one buddy actually had eaten there like 5 days ago.
Oh,
He had his 1 year wedding anniversary dinner there. But then our other buddy, his firstborn is going to be coming up in like June. So he goes, that qualifies. Like, we could even fucking lie. It could be our birthday every time we go if we wanted. They don't fact check. But so he ended up bringing some blue cotton candy to the table, like after our main courses. And everyone around, like, they had been talking up to wanting to try the cotton candy, but when it came over, everyone was kind of being like, "I don't want any cotton candy.
Oh, come on.
I'll just try a little piece." And I'm just and then it's like, I'm not big on cotton candy, but like I don't hate it either. To me, like a man with a beard, it's a really odd proposition because too big of a piece and I'm picking sugar out of my beard, So I was like, well, let me try this because I went to the trouble of making sure that we got this shit. So like I take off a hunk and like I like to kind of compact it so it's got a little more girth to it rather than the fluffy cloud nature of it. And when I bit into that shit, it dissolved and it felt like it shot a flavor burst of like blue raspberry into my mouth, and it was fan-fucking-tastic. I never had cotton candy give me that same effect before, where it feels like a shot of juice into my mouth.
Would you say you never had cotton candy that was sweet as gold before?
Sweet as gold? Is gold sweet?
Yes.
I assumed gold would be a little slightly metallic.
Also, it turns out this whole time we've been saying that wrong. It's a Sweetie Go.
Oh, sweet
Cotton
as gold.
candy.
Okay.
Sweetie Go. Let me see that
See
Tootsie
that
Roll.
Tootsie Roll. Cotton candy, sweetie go. Okay.
So, oh man, they're putting up a Street Shark. Sorry. I just hadn't seen a Street Shark in a very long time.
My children and I recently discussed Street Sharks, and they were like, "So that's a real thing that existed, Street Sharks?" And I had to explain to them, "Yes, that's a thing."
If you're at like a thrift store and you see any like toys with Street Sharks, immediately buy them. And I'm not saying that for me. I'm saying because like those shits are fucking expensive. Like the puppet, I saw a puppet on the Goodwill auction site yesterday. It was up to like $160 just for the fucking hand puppet. Like this thing is
like that.
this thing is just a fucking like offshoot villain. It's not even a main Street Shark, and it's already got a bid of $20. Yeah, it just went for $20.
Who were the Street Shark bad guys?
I don't even fucking know, because the show only had like 40 episodes. It's just like the Street Sharks are just fucking incredible toys that probably should have been around longer than they were.
How do you think they gave you blue cotton candy, not the pink?
That was the thing. I wanted to try them both, but we only got the blue. So I looked at the dessert menu to see if there was anything I wanted to bring home with me, but like I wasn't really feeling it. It was like they had like a cheesecake, they had a creme brulee, and something else. Like Anthony would have been pleased. Like the cheesecake.
Anthony.
Well, I know you're a creme brulee fan. Like I
do like creme brulee. I haven't had any since I've been with you guys.
But the cheesecake wasn't really speaking to me, and then everything else was like teas and coffees and stuff, and so I was out on dessert. And
let's go through it right quick. Vanilla bean creme brulee, $14. Liz's gilded chocolate cake, $17. Banana mango panna cotta, $15. The Marble Room cheesecake, $16. Flambe baked Alaska. Can't believe you didn't get that.
Oh man, yeah.
$18. Ice cream and or sorbet, house-made chef's daily creation, a tenner. Box, when it's possible, you gotta get you a baked Alaska. It's a big deal.
See, they didn't have that listed on the menu.
Oh, it's just on the menu they have on their website. And who knows, maybe they weren't making. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong, but I think baked Alaska is one of those call ahead situations. Like, I don't think they just have that regular. You could probably have, hey man, I want baked Alaska tonight, because it's an involved dish. So I could see it not being readily available.
Well, so we paid, and then we chopped to the bill like I talked about already and everything, and we left. And my buddy took a really odd way to get back to the freeway. We ended up driving past our old work office.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have been downtown in that area at all recently, but that giant parking lot that was across the street, over by like West 6th, is all fenced off. There's cranes in it. They've torn the shit out of it, and they're building something there.
I believe that's where the new Sherwin-Williams headquarters is going to be placed. Not 1,000%, but I do believe that's where that's going to be at.
Yeah, they definitely demolished that entire parking lot from the over by the hotel all the way over to the subway.
I hate that shit. I hate that. I hate when public parking gets taken away. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it already is kind of tough to get a parking spot, in that general area, and you just made it that much worse. But can't call it, man.
Especially like if you want that area night, like because that's where the nightclubs and stuff are.
Exactly.
And I know like the couple times that I got drug out for Halloween excursions there, those parking lots were where everybody parked for that.
Yeah.
If you take that away, I don't know where people are gonna park it. And it's not like those parking lots were ever empty either. Like the people that like worked in all the surrounding buildings parked there too.
Yeah, but it's a parking lot right next door to that. Then it's a parking lot like over by Johnny's Little Bar, like a double parking lot. There is parking near there because before that was a parking lot, that was a check cashing place and a place I used to go get sandwiches and stuff at. It
True.
was like a whole little row of stuff right there. So
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
that, it was, but to take it back just a little bit, it was like a multi-layer parking place, then a check cashing place,
Yep.
and then like a sandwich place. So um, no, it's gonna bring more money to the city supposedly. So
I feel like more businesses down there are more valuable than parking lots, but
For sure.
parking lots are still valuable.
Yeah, that's my point. It's always like I said. We just spoke last week about the grassroots organization trying to make sure public square is usable. And I just
they just had a small protest about that concerning the bathrooms that they want.
yeah, it's like you got to look out for the public sometimes as well as the business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just kind of feel like in general downtown, and I know I probably said this a whole lot, but I mean, we got to have more than just bars and stuff to go to anyway. Most
We just
young
talked
kids,
again. We just talked about last week how it would be very nice to have more centralized touristy kind of shit in that general downtown area, and how we're missing that.
They desperately need to get rid of Burkfront Airport.
I mean, it's just like it's useful as fuck, bro. It's like
Not as much as you think, and there's been studies done, and apparently the city council is starting to come around on the fact that like they need to get rid of it to do something more useful. Like there's talk of getting rid of it, and that would be the site of like a new Brown Stadium with a dome and shit, like turning into a sports complex down there. Like at least doing something more with it. Like the lakefront airport barely gets used. It's used like basically to like Dan Gilbert and like fucking Arab princes that come to the clinic. That's like basically it. Hardly anyone fucking uses that airport for anything.
they can just come to the airport near my house, like the other.
Yeah, like
the county airport. You're right.
yeah, and then like Hopkins isn't that far away. Like I'm sure there could be like some sort of private landing strip area around there somewhere.
It's just for when landing jets, you need a specific amount of runway, and I don't know if the county airport has that much land. They're more propeller planes.
I guess at the very least, just fucking land at Hopkins and drive
Catch a
the
ride.
20 minutes downtown.
You're
Like
right.
I don't like hate Dan Gilbert with a fiery passion. Like that motherfucker, if he wants to hop from Detroit to Cleveland, he could have a 20-minute ride downtown. If it means that we get more use out of a valuable piece of city property.
Also, it's probably right. You could probably get a nice enough helicopter to make that happen. Quick dip across.
Yeah.
It's a 15-minute flight. Not even 15 minutes. It's a lie to say it's 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It's a 10-minute flight in the proper vehicle. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like when you fly to Detroit from Cleveland, it's like a 10-minute flight.
You're on the runway more than you are in the air.
Yeah. So it's like sometimes you just gotta suck it up, buddy. Like
Yeah.
this is one of those situations where like we need to redo something. Like Cleveland, I feel like they're on kind of like a crossroads moment where like, are we committing to this rebuild or not?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so you gotta crack some eggs sometimes and like stop holding on to that fucking airport. Like just be real. There's way more important things that would help to revitalize the city than a dead airport.
Yeah. You're right, man. You're right. That lakefront area, it would be lovely for any number of things, and so
Yeah, that I mean to take it a little bit further, that whole side of the marginal up until like when you get to like the fishing spots, like that whole area from like 9th to about almost 55th.
Yeah.
Like that's a whole lot of real estate where they could just be like, we need to start over here. Ain't shit over here, baby.
Yeah, you're right.
Because
You're absolutely right.
yeah, my brother's high school has been pretty much closed since 1996. Like that whole area is like a wasted space.
Yeah.
Like from downtown to like before you get into like Bratnall.
Yeah, pretty
Well,
much.
so the what is that? It starts with a G, don't it? What is that park right there? Grant? Is that Grant Park on the lake right there?
I know there's Voinovich Park down by the pier.
Yeah. So at 55th, right there, where you can go fishing at on the east side. Where
Oh
yeah.
I've been over there, like past where like the whale building is.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the
So
mark.
what he
that's the
basically
whole
saying,
marginal.
he's saying from Aviation High School, or basically what became apartments, what used to be the power company that became apartments now.
Yeah.
If you go from apartments all the way back to basically Ninth, all that could be used for premium lakefront property to do some other shit with. Because, like I said, most of that, the good chunk of that, is runway. So immediately you already like you said, get rid of the fucking you get rid of the airport. All of that land becomes then available because we no longer need a runway there because we no longer whatever. So then aviation can go.
Yeah, I mean,
use it.
let's be honest. Like outside of like the air show,
Yeah.
that place ain't getting hardly used. Like we could relocate the air show. Like
Yeah.
the Blue Angels can land at Hopkins or something.
I don't know where the Blue Angels could be, but I mean,
I would trade the air show, which I haven't gone to since I was like in
Let's
high
book
school, to like put a brand new Brown stadium with a dome. That I would gladly make that trade. I could be in the minority on that one. I'm not hating on the air show, but like it is what it is. I barely cared when I was a kid, and I certainly don't care about the air show now as an adult.
For sure.
yeah, as a kid, the only thing that was cool was getting in that big ass jet, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go now.
Like walking around in like the army transports and shit.
Yeah,
Like that was all right to kind of get a feel for what they really are like. But like, I never really cared about watching the Blue Angels fly in the sky because you can see that shit anywhere. They'd be flying around for days before the air show even happens.
yeah. That was the cool part where you was just in school and you heard,
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, air show this weekend.
hell yeah, air show. Let me read 10 books real quick.
Well, that took a turn. I'm glad you went out and got some good steak. I'm glad you had a good meal. Tried some fantastic cotton candy. Now I want to know what they're doing with it. How they get that cotton candy so good?
It's a place you could eat at, man. They had chicken on the menu. Like, it's not just steaks. Like, there's options for a non-red meat eater. You can find out for yourself what that cotton candy be doing.
Let me click on their dinner menu. A nice little sushi shit. I'm surprised you didn't get down with the sushi shit, man.
I had sushi for lunch yesterday.
There it is. It makes perfect sense. Good looking fish and shellfish and vegetable options. So, prime steaks, chops, and poultry, filet mignon, New York strip, bone-in New York strip, bone-in ribeye, Delmonico, dry-aged Delmonico, long bone tomahawk, porterhouse, A5 Miyazaki Wagyu strip loin, double bone Duroc pork chop with some chimichurri sauce, a rack of lamb, or, this is my chicken part, Springer Mountain Organic Double Chicken Breast, Tuscan style, rosemary, garlic, lemon jus. So that's what's up if you want to get down with some chicken. And of course, they got some other stuff going on. A whole lobster truffle mac and cheese, a 2-pound Maine lobster stuffed in its shell, creamy herb Marnay, fresh shaved black and black winter truffle. I don't like truffle, but
I was gonna get the truffle butter last night. Like, I went into the night like with the plan to buy the truffle butter for my steak, and like right at the 1 yard line, I audibled to the garlic chive butter, and I don't regret it.
Nice. Duck confit spring rolls. Those sound amazing. So there we go.
According to your meme, Lunch, Rihanna and A$AP Rocky broke up.
That's the rumor floating around Twitter this evening.
Oh,
Apparently, the word is that allegedly
Involved.
he cheated on her with this shoe designer that he's known for years. That apparently he used to date or something. And during Fashion Week recently, he slept with her, and Rihanna found out and dumped him. Is the rumor?
that's for a rumor. That's like awfully like
Detailed.
yeah. That's a detailed ass
Yeah.
rumor. Instead of like he was sleeping with the maid girl.
Man, I hope it's just a late pregnancy kind of like
Lemonade?
situation. You know, people fight late pregnancy, man. It goes down. You seen Amber and Ben? Oh my God! Well,
Ben,
Gabriel,
I'm shocked that Amber is still holding that child, and I thought for sure that she would have already have released.
her
Apparently
due date? Tomorrow's a due date. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, I find it funny. We're all so invested in a stranger's pregnancy, but it's so entertaining.
they have shared their journey with us. You know,
Yeah, Ben put up a video yesterday. I think it was yesterday, or was it this morning, where he's talking about where the mother-in-law gave him the option of either walking the dog or
or
bringing the
making her
breakfast,
breakfast.
and he so desperately wanted to walk the dog, but then the mother-in-law made him bring the breakfast anyway. And then this morning, where Amber was talking about beefing with their unborn child, and he's like, "That's kind of harsh," and she goes, "Well, she shot first." And then
He did, no, I
I
did.
shot first.
technically I did. And I found it a little odd where Ben's like, "Oh yeah, we had sex last night," and she goes, "No, we didn't." And he goes, "Yeah, we did." And I'm thinking, how would you not know?
Pregnancy brain. It's a real thing.
Really?
Yeah. So
And then I immediately thought, man, this dude's like Gabe. just all up in that pregnancy pussy.
I think.
well, not I was not speaking of pregnancy pussy at all because that's not at all what we're talking about. But Gabe, you have come in a timely manner, sir. It is your time to shine. What's popping, baby?
Yeah, all right. Well, we had quite a day that I don't know if I might have saved that for the on the road. There was a debate that came up this morning that we could discuss. And what else? Oh shit! There was something else I was gonna bring up, but I fucking forgot about it. I just remembered it a few minutes ago. It's not pregnancy brain. It's just me forgetting. What? Oh yeah, my son at one of these campgrounds saved a kid's life.
Like he jumped in front of a bullet.
No, did not jump in front of a bullet. My son. Okay, so this it's kind of a depressing story because this kid is and I don't. You could stop me if you say this is not good for the podcast. So this boy about my son's age, they're both 8 at the time. My son just recently turned 9. Was biking along with my son and said that he wanted to end his life.
Oh, criminy.
Hmm.
That is so sad.
No.
No. That's okay to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. And he said he wanted to do that, and he was going to do it by riding into this oncoming. I'm sorry to laugh; it's uncomfortable, but
It's nervous laughter. Don't take it as my man chuckling at nothing. I know what it is. Relax. You got a vibe.
Okay. He said, I'm going to ride into this golf cart and end my life. So my son took it upon himself to crash the other kid before he can do that.
Jesus.
I don't know. He used the pit maneuver, as I guess what you get from the cops, but only on a bike.
Oh shit. Well,
Crash that kid
props to your kid for doing that. That's amazing. It's sad that he had to do it, but amazing that he was there to do it. You know?
Yeah, and it was. Well, there's more awkwardness to come. because like after he did that he rode after he did that he rode back the. It's just I just crashed this kid and like okay you can't do that. Can't do that son. We'll talk to see if he's okay. And then he tells me the story on the way. I'm like, what? Did he really say that? Like this is like okay I gotta deal with this shit. And I go up to the kid and say, hey, are you all right? My son didn't mean to crash you. He did mean to crash him, but he was trying to do the right thing. So why were you going to crash into the car? He's like, oh, because I want to end my life. I'm like, all right,
Oh
I gotta talk
wow.
to your parents. I gotta.
Yeah.
I can't let this slide. So I take the kid back to his parents, and they're trailer park people. I mean, not to look down on them for being trailer park people. I'm trailer park people too. I live in a trailer park.
They were me inside that steakhouse last night.
They're more what you. Yes, they were like
Yes.
the good guys in. Yes, they're like the good guys in Caddyshack, I guess, as you would describe them. And like so,
I haven't seen Caddyshack before.
I've watched it one time.
It's all right. It's not great as everyone says it is. So I say to the like, hey, my son crashed into your son. I just want to make sure everything's all right. And he said some concerning things, and I just wanted to bring them to your attention. And I told him about the whole ending his life thing. Like, you don't really mean that. He's like, well, when I get older, I guess I can do it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna leave you to this, Mom. You handle this situation. Good luck to you. Mom is like, you can't talk like that. Don't talk like that. Like, I don't know. Look, like, you're the mom here. You'll handle this situation. I'm going back. I'm going back home. This is uncomfortable as fuck. And but props to my son for I guess I don't know if that's doing the right thing or not. Like crashing this kid. I mean, he just kind of
it's when faced with it, doing what he thought was best. And that's a good lesson to have taught your kid.
I told him I was proud of him.
I had a friend.
He was like Riggs.
I have a friend.
I was just gonna say he's like Riggs in Robo and Lethal Weapon. He handcuffed him he handcuffed him and controlled the fall, I guess, instead of trying to talk him down from the building. All right,
No, you're good. The delay is, gotta navigate it. I have a friend who one time came to me and asked for my advice. She had a friend who was threatening to kill herself, but she told my friend that if she told anybody that she would never forgive her. And she's like, what do I do? Like, I don't want to upset her, but I also am afraid that she might do something. And I'm like, could you live with yourself if you didn't say anything and then she did it? I'm like, isn't her being mad at you and alive better than her being gone? So she went and told that person's parents, and then that person got help. And as last I knew, she's still alive and she's healthy and she's happy and she's living a productive life. Sometimes you just gotta fucking step in, even if the person's upset in the moment. They might thank you in the long run that you kept them from doing a mistake that they can never take back.
Yeah. So your kid did right, man.
I'm proud of my son. Like I said,
Jeez,
he fessed it up to the pit maneuver. He fessed up to the pit maneuver and told me about it right away. So good for him.
Texas really be on one, don't it?
I don't know when. Uh, where was this actually? I've been holding on to the story for a while because I didn't know if it was okay to bring up or not. It was the night of the Super Bowl.
Oh, Jesus
Oh.
Christ. That had to be. Was that Florida?
So, yeah, it was Florida. Florida be on one too.
Okay. Well, that is a given. The dick of this great nation always be acting a fool, man. So
The dick of this great nation.
Well, the dick of this great nation. That dick
shit.
is not our friend.
It simply is not. So fuck Ron DeSantis. Let's just get that point clear. Oh my God!
but
Is that it? That's what you want to put. That's what you want to bring to the show this week, sir?
well, no, I wanted to bring something else more lighthearted that came up this morning that we tweeted about a little bit. But we've discussed this to death. Well, we need to discuss it again. But what the hell? So someone would tweet it out like, "Hey, some fans are debating what was the better trequel, Dark Knight Rises and Spider-Man 3." I'm like, who the fuck is debating this?
Nobody. I think that website just wanted to just have that chat.
I have a confession on that. So
My confessions.
I had seen that poll the night before, and I misclicked my vote thinking that the Spider-Man 3 they were referring to was No Way Home.
Oh.
It wasn't until afterwards that I realized it was the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So I inadvertently voted for Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire, Topher Grace Venom that I hate, when I would have fully 100% voted for Dark Knight Rises because I love that movie.
Yeah.
Maybe your symbiote made you vote for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Team Skim. 100% Dark Knight Rises over Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3.
I can't even believe that it's like an honest debate. And like based on the poll, it's really not. But like, who the fuck is even coming up with this premise? Like, it's insane to even put that out into the universe. People are acting like Dark Knight Rises is a bad movie. It's a good fucking movie. It's not as good as Dark Knight, but it's still a good fucking movie.
Flaws.
Yeah, like,
flaws,
but like compared to Spider-Man 3, come on.
Spider-Man 3 makes me angry because I was looking forward to Venom for so long, and Terrell will tell you this. Like even before Spider-Man 3 came out, like this is how I pictured a Venom Spider-Man movie. I'm like, all right, it's like Cape Fear, only with a Spider-Man fight at the end. Doesn't that sound great?
Yeah. Counselor.
and then we got what we got.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
And outside of Venom, I mean, I don't like the movie. Sandman was okay, but we just did bad guy who's not really a bad guy in the previous movie, and we did it better. So why are we going to do it again?
Yeah, I kind of feel like
fucking Green Goblin dressed. Oh, go ahead.
No, this is the best Spider-Man movie when it comes to villains.
It's like glossy. I can't see what it is.
It's just Far From Home.
Yeah, Far From Home.
Steelbook. So yeah, not really a debate. Dark Knight Rises. Again, I will say what I told you, what I said on Twitter this morning. One of the greatest monologues in cinema, or emo dancing Tobey Maguire. Gonna go with one of the greatest monologues in cinema. So,
The Snow Goblin.
God,
Fucking snowboarder.
I rewatched No Way Home before we did the show tonight. This is the first time I had seen it since theaters, so 5 months almost. And actually, no, it would be 5 months, like almost to the day. Shit. And that movie is just as good as I remember, and like some of the details too that like I didn't pick up on necessarily when I watched it the first time. Like I didn't realize that like their suits were like exactly the same as they were from their movies. So like Tobey Maguire still had that like crappy ass like embossed webbing shit on his like, and then like when have you seen the movie, Gabe? Or am I spoiling shit for you?
No, I have not seen it yet.
All
Do
right.
I need to see the Amazing Spider-Man to get into it?
It's helpful.
Because I have not seen any Amazing Spider-Man yet.
I would recommend it.
Okay, so I gotta
They
watch the
weren't
Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
they weren't the greatest, but they weren't the worst. And it would be helpful to you to know what you're seeing when you get into Spider-Man No Way Home.
Well, as a
Okay.
person who hasn't seen
Okay,
those
so maybe
movies,
we'll
I
do a
think you'll be
Spider-Man.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not necessary. It's not necessary, but it adds a little more zhuzh to the meal.
I truly felt I got more out of Andrew Garfield's scene
Yes,
having seen those two movies.
it helps you to connect to his character more.
Yes.
I this is one time I don't agree with Anthony.
But at the same time, I
I'm
do
actually
know
friends.
I didn't see those movies, but I do know the plot pretty well, and
Yeah.
I know that
Mhm.
I know the reason he's so broke up about certain things, and the reason not the vindication, but his comeuppance, I would say.
Mhm.
No, that's
Um,
not the right turn of phrase either.
Yeah,
I know you're saying he came up, but it's not a come up.
what making it happen?
like redemption.
Redemption. There we go.
There
I
you
know
go, redemption.
his redemption means a lot because of the way he saved a certain person.
Correct.
So, I
Okay.
mean, you short on. You a man that's short on time. So, not saying you about to die. I'm saying you
I
don't got to.
just that's what I wanted to talk about. I just finally watched the finale to Loki.
I ain't
Bro,
seen that at all.
I can barely tell you what happened to the finale of Loki. In fact, probably don't think I can tell you what happened at the end of Loki. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, we're like they end up in my one man's office, so forth and so on. So I hear you, I feel you, I smell you. The weevilization, I hear you, man.
And I started I started, but my internet wouldn't let me finish the second episode of What If with
Oh,
T'Challa as Star Lord.
that was a good episode.
So
Yeah.
did you guys? So Star Lord basically talked Thanos into being a Ravager, is what they're saying.
I mean, in that particular timeline, yeah.
In that particular timeline.
So
Apparently, it's good to have those in your belt before you see Doctor Strange. So if you could finish What If,
I have a beef with that particular version of Thanos and the whole notion that Thanos, instead of killing half of the population, should have just created more resources.
Mhm.
And based on the Eternals movie, that narrative is 100% false. If Thanos had just created more resources, the Eternal would have risen way quicker than it did. Thanos snapping half of the universe was more than just saving the universe because of resources. It was also preventing worlds from being extinguished by Eternals. So Thanos was actually the good guy. People don't realize that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
My wife was Team Thanos. She's like, I don't understand. And the whole time in Endgame, she's like, I don't understand why they're doing it. Why don't you just leave it alone? Like, because they're heroes, and also we wouldn't have a movie. So be quiet. Why watch
But
this?
but I think it's the perfect like cinematic view of people fighting for things that they think are correct, but not realizing the entire big picture. So they're fighting for something that maybe they shouldn't necessarily be fighting for.
Like Optimus Prime fighting
Yeah, bring
the
back five.
Decepticons.
Yeah, like Optimus not wanting to save his world. What kind of traitorous shit is that?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I think sometimes just
Of,
people get mad at someone who has the balls to do what needs to be done.
Yeah. We were their gas station. Optimus Prime had to do was just let Megatron take our resources. I mean, we have
Is
done
he
it
the
to
Judas
so
of
many other
Transformers?
people.
Is that what's going on here?
What'd you say?
Leading up to, they say he's the Judas of Transformers. If I want to tie it into the upcoming Easter.
Maybe.
Oh shit.
I will say, Gabe, as someone who, when What If came out, I didn't give enough of a shit to watch it until it was already over, and I only watched it because it was over, not because I actually wanted to watch it. It's actually not bad. And then after I watched it, they're like, "Oh yes, all this shit that we said didn't really exist. It's canon. We'll just say that it's multiverse stuff." And so it's like it's stuff that happened in other universes that could like loop back around into movies if we so choose. So it actually is now canon and a necessary watch.
Okay. I wanted to watch it with my kids because it's a cartoon and they thought they'd enjoy it. But like
That
it's
shit-
more violent.
It's real dark.
Yeah, it's super dark. That is, I don't feel that's as child friendly as you like to think it is. It's just that's the problem I think we have with in America at least. We constantly argue that animation is for children. It's simply not. There is some animation for children, but
Well, I wouldn't let my kids watch Ninja Scroll.
oh shit.
That was the first time I ever saw animated titties, and it was real jarring.
Emily was just watching that this morning.
Ninja Scroll,
Yeah.
like where the big dude be sucking on that lady's titties without her permission.
I guess so.
We talking about the same Ninja
He
Scroll?
really did.
I was just
He put
kidding.
that whole titty in his mouth.
He put that whole titty in this.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, that was my takeaway. That should not be my takeaway.
Put that whole titty in his mouth.
It was just a really like that scene of that anime
It's
when
so
it
fucked up.
happened. It shocked me. I was like, they're gonna actually animate this. I thought we just imply these things, but no, he's just straight on doing it.
Yeah.
But then I have to remember, not my culture. but it was also the other thing. It's like we'll blur out penises, but we'll just show women getting like fucking arped.
Yeah, Japan's weird.
Japan has got priorities. Like, well, I mean, they probably think we're weird.
I always wondered, like in the hentais, when they blur out the penises in the hentai, did someone actually take the time to animate the penis just so they could be blurred out, or did they just put the blur on there instead of actually drawing the penis?
Oh
It just
shit.
seems
It's like the chicken or the egg. Who knows?
Someone put into drawing that penis.
Yeah, like what if they, like what Gabe said, like what if they put in a bunch of hours and they got the veins extra nice and everything, they got the color right, the nice curvature, a solid mushroom shape, and then the government's just like blur effect.
I remember the first time. Have you ever seen Ain't
I
Nothing
stayed
But a
up till
G
3
Thing
a.m.
video?
3 a.m. drawing that penis.
Have you guys seen the Ain't Nothing But a G Thing video before?
Mm-mm.
No?
Okay, so in that video, somebody comes along and reach from behind a woman, grabs and pulls down her bikini top. It's blurred. It's been blurred until it wasn't blurred. And then when you saw them titties, you was like, them titties was really there. It was amazing.
Same thing.
It was really great titties. But also, I don't know if that woman voluntarily had her titties out there. Was that a part of the video? Was that
Oh, was it like a Janet situation?
it?
Sort of.
Yes. And so I don't, and because it's a
both ends.
video, and you know, saying videos have artistic direction, so forth and so on. That might have been just a part of the video. Might have been meant to happen like that. But
Man,
That lady's
might have been a Janet situation.
the 80s and 90s, like going back and watching old media, you can definitely notice a change in what was kosher to put into media back then compared to now. So like 2 days ago, I went back and I realized I had never watched the original Batman with Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Really?
I had never seen it. I had seen like clips and stuff, but I had never sat down and watched the whole movie from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And they're all on HBO. So I went ahead and I watched Batman I watched Batman Returns, which I had seen, but I hadn't seen it like in a very long time. And then I watched Batman Forever. I kind of like did them back to back to back before like I got into the Cavs game the other day. So, my takeaway from Batman is an all right movie, for the time. Like I like the cinematography that like Tim Burton did, where he kind of made it feel like animated, but it wasn't.
Mhm.
So that was kind of like almost like you were going into a comic book, but then the comic book was real. But my takeaway from Batman Returns was that they were very open with men sexualizing women and like attempting to like rape them. Like the Penguin like openly fucking like does shit in that movie, like with Catwoman, with like his mayoral intern. There's the scene in the alleyway with the dude like trying to get up on that civilian. The Catwoman stops. Like Penguin openly gropes someone, like when he's like putting a button on her just so he can grab her titty. Like,
I'm not laughing at your situation. I'm laughing at the way you said titty.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying though. It's like if you were to make that movie today, there would be so many fucking think pieces and Twitter bans and shit. Like
You wouldn't make the movie today. You wouldn't make it like that today.
Not
what it comes down to.
You would find a like PG-13 it up a little bit more.
You couldn't make a movie like that and then make McDonald's toys about it.
Yeah. Like I was watching a video breakdown earlier of like the new Moon Knight episode because I like to watch those because I didn't read the comics and stuff, and I'm not like fully in tune with the characters. So sometimes things come up that like I don't know what they are, and the Easter egg breakdown thing kind of helps me understand more of what I'm watching. Yeah. And like there's this one YouTube channel I watch that I feel does it very well, so I usually watch their breakdown. And I put on like their one video today where they were going over it while they were watching it kind of live. And then they get into like a 25-minute diatribe about how when they did like a video breakdown of like the last week's episode, that people on Twitter got mad at them for how they were talking about dissociative identity disorder or something. Mm-hmm. And that like people were protesting and upset and everything. And I'm just like, sometimes people need to learn to shut the fuck up and like stop being fake angry. Like
I saw a TikTok regarding that. Now I have not watched Moon Knight yet, so I don't really know it. But the lady's point was, it's dope that Disney is introducing such a thing to their universe because it can be discussed. And, and maybe people who didn't have any idea what that disorder is or means or how it affects people, all of a sudden you have some insight into it, and maybe you start reading up on it a little more until I got there. And it's kind of dope that you have a disabled superhero, a superhero with a disability, and it's weird that like, and she pointed out that it's weird that people was out there trying to talk whack about, because I guess like you said, it was making some Twitter rounds, not my part of Twitter.
Yeah, not mine either. Like, I don't go looking at shit. Twitter. Yeah, I don't go searching that shit out. So, like, when the dude started talking about it, and then it was like, I expected it to be a quick, like, aside. Yeah. But then it literally went on for 25 minutes with him and the other dude going, like, talking about it. And the way they're like, the way, people don't like the way that you refer to it in certain ways, and this and that and the other. And I'm just like, he goes, like, people need to be able to talk about things. And I'm like, exactly. And I'm like, I'm not that I was in the conversation, obviously, because I was watching a video. Yeah. But my biggest gripe with shit is, like, sometimes people just won't even be willing to have a conversation. Whether you agree with someone or not, dialogue still needs to be able to exist. And sometimes people think that, like, their way is the only way. And damn anyone who thinks differently. And they're not even willing to talk about it. And if you even bring it up, like, you're the fucking scum of the earth. And it's like, because I think I'm the righteous one, that automatically means everyone who doesn't think like I think is the devil, and how dare they? Mm-hmm. And that's the way that, like, his discussion was coming across, is that, like, these people aren't even willing to, like, talk about the effects of, like, this kind of thing in society, and they just want to immediately condemn anyone who, like, tries to learn about it or says something incorrectly because they're unaware. Like, not everyone who misspeaks is out to cause harm. Maybe some people just don't know. Like, I don't know. I didn't even know there were fucking terms about any of this shit before this show. I just thought it was multiple personality disorder, and that's it. I didn't know there were like trigger words or anything like that, And so it's like, I think sometimes people need to learn that, like, realize that, like, not everyone is trying to be, what's the best way to say this? Like,
shitty. Just say it.
Yeah, shitty, rude, like, poke fun, ignorant. Like, it's not like I don't have that in my life. Like, all right, well, I do. My brother has schizophrenia, so I've dealt with it on a personal level to some degree. But I didn't go out and read books about schizophrenia and learn all the buzzwords and what's culturally acceptable to say and what. Because honestly, that shit changes like every fucking day.
Correct.
There's like race issues. It changes. Like, for a hot minute it was Latinx, and then some Latin people were like, we don't fuck with that, and some still do. And it's like, it gets to the point where I don't know what to fucking do, what's right and what's not right anymore. So I just try to live the best I can, and whatever happens. Some people are going to be mad, some people aren't. And like, I think my problem with this dude was he spent 25 minutes on trying to defend himself when, like, you don't need to, man. There's always going to be somebody mad somewhere. Just keep doing your show, baby.
He felt pressed.
Yeah, it was like,
and he felt the need to kind of lash out,
Well, they're a channel of fucking nerds.
Yeah,
and they're always like, they love everything, and they're so happy to do this. And I think this was like really the first time where they felt that like internet realness from like Twitter, like the gritty. We're not just happy to watch Marvel. There's social issues involved here type of Twitter. That like it really came from, because he brought it up a little bit from Falcon and Winter Soldier, and now it's coming up again, but bigger apparently. And like, I think it's bursting their happiness bubble where everything in the world is sunshine and rainbows, and people are starting to come in with their like bullshit, and it's like corrupting their soul a little bit.
Hey.
Take this.
As the one thing I can speak on in this race, oddly enough, the one thing I probably shouldn't speak on, the one thing I think I can speak on, is the use of Latin A. It's there for those who want it. Easy as that. Those who don't want it, don't you have to use it. Those who do can use it. That's why you never have to worry about it.
Can I?
Of course you can. The fuck? You're the one person who can say anything about this.
There's the thing with me. I've gotten so much shit about having it in my
Twitter bio.
Having it in my Twitter that at this point I'm digging my heels in the sand. Like, you're not gonna bully me into stop fucking using it.
Now, the people who are giving you shit about it, are they fellow Latin vowels, or are they like white people? Like,
it's been mostly white people, but a few Latin dudes have given me shit about it. But one of them was like, this fucking cop who just this, what was it? I'm not fucking giving out his Twitter handle on this show. Fuck him. He's also like, on his bio he's bragging about contributor to Newsmax and what's that other one? OAN.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then you're bragging about that. Like, look, man, fuck you. First of all, look all the people liking you're giving me shit about this. It's Trump 2024, Trump 2024, shit like that. Like, as soon as those motherfuckers started liking me unironically, I'm fucking done on this Twitter. So if you're proud of that, go ahead. So mostly it's been assholes. It's really been assholes.
Yeah.
But
maybe,
like I said, I'm digging my heels in the sand. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, maybe going forward there won't be a place for these type of people on Elon Musk's Twitter.
So the romance languages are very gendered, and they always have been. And so Latin A was simply a for those who didn't want to use gendered terms for their fucking identity. That's fine. So it's like I said, don't ever worry yourself silly about such matters. You know what I'm saying? It was a discussion that I think we'll probably end up having on this Cadillac. We gonna do it's the Skim Cadillac crossover going the other way, where what I'm saying it's our show. We're gonna record that next week, and that'll be your episode the following week. African American versus Black, and how we work that hand. And Chaffee and I have been wanting to talk about it, so I think it'd be a good time to talk about it when we get down. So it's how people want to roll. You know what I'm saying? I am perfectly pleasant with being called Black, except for my people who feel like you've heard it before. You know it. They'll say Black in a way where it's like they almost want to whisper it. That guy's Black, and you're like, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a term. It's not racist. I'm sure to you. It's okay. And then when they say African American, it sounds like they saying nigger. So I can't fuck with them at all. It's terrible. So, but again, we'll probably have a larger discussion about that. Delvin, who again, of course, should be a part of that show, on his 200th episode of the Delvin Cox Experience, had a pretty in-depth discussion with many people of many different races about the use of the N-word. I don't even have to say that word. I'm allowed to say nigga. And so he himself has had, like I said, I feel like we're gonna have a good bit of conversation going into the episode next week that we record next week. And that's not what we do. We'll never make our guests feel uncomfortable, and we're never gonna make ourselves feel uncomfortable. So it's a discussion. And like Boxer said, discussions are perfectly fine to have.
Shit, I feel uncomfortable when we talk about this shit all the time, but I just gotta grin and soldier on. Because let's be honest, I'm the fucking white target of this outfit, so I got to absorb. I'm saying for all the listeners of we have a hodgepodge here, and let's be honest, white people be doing the most off cuff shit, and so I'm the one here that has to absorb that residual side eye and shit. And it is what it is. It's the cross I bear.
Like just like Black people are not a monolith, and we don't have to take on everything that Black people do as ours. You do not have to be the representation of whiteness when white people be fucking up, or you don't have to be like you know what I'm saying. You have to sign off on everything white people do that you think is whatever. It's okay.
I know, but when I sit here and it's like white people did this and white people did that, and I'm like, God damn, we did.
See, that's the problem. Don't we? Because you did not. Make sure not to do that. They did.
And speaking of that, have you guys seen the last?
Say, hey, Lunch. I was going to say, hey, you know what they say, Lunch. You're one of the good ones.
I've heard that a time or two, but usually it's one of us saying it.
Have you guys seen the last episode of Atlanta? The 4th episode so far this season? Okay, I won't say that.
Man, I haven't.
The first episode of it.
I've never watched Atlanta, but you would be surprised that my Facebook group chat, 4 people in that bitch have watched Atlanta. You'd be so proud.
I don't know if I'm proud.
3 of them are white, 1 of them's Arab.
Oh man.
Well, they need to put that shit on Disney Plus because that's the only streaming app I got. I got rid of Netflix.
Oh, it's on Hulu.
Jink, show me a Coke.
I got rid of Hulu.
Well, they have a decent enough deal where you can have Hulu, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus in one package.
Yeah.
So, just point that out to you, my guy.
Maybe when we settle down, there's more time to watch TV.
Yeah, you for right now, you're exploring the whole country. I guess you're not really watching shows, man.
Yeah, you don't need to watch Atlanta. You could just go into it.
Facts.
What do you do at night? Never mind. I shouldn't ask that.
Right now I'm recording with you guys, and at night I sleep after a long day of exploring. We'll get into this on the road, but I think we finally we're going to put this JFK stuff to rest once and for all. That's where we were today. After Legoland, we headed over to that plaza, and I checked things out. And I think I know what it is. That's a teaser for you folks.
Let's see if I'll try to run through it. See if I got anything to bring to y'all this week personally. I don't know. I think this week ain't really nothing popping in the world of tea, man. I'm working, getting my kid back and forth to this play practice, and it's been real quiet. So I'll talk to you guys around the entertainment situation. So we just gonna skirt on down the road to Reddit, and it's time for a bit of Am I the Asshole? Each week we go to the subreddit Am I the Asshole? We read some posts, and we decide if people are or are not indeed assholes. This week, here are some of your options. Am I the asshole for how I reacted to my husband calling me a naughty girl? Am I the asshole for showing up at my ex's house after our daughter sent me a concerning message? Am I the asshole for not attending a work meeting when I was on break? And am I the asshole for giving my mother-in-law a fake wedding date to prove a point? So which one of the
That last one's interesting.
Yeah, you missed it.
It is.
Sorry, buddy. You can catch it on TikTok.
Pick another one, Gabe.
All right. All right. Oh, I don't know. I guess the naughty girl one. It's probably not gonna live up to the hype, though.
I feel like this one is so for you because of the style of parenting you engage in. Engage with is where I'm going to flip that. Let's build. Am I the asshole for how I reacted to my husband calling me a quote naughty girl? On Tuesday, I woke up after 11, which is really late for me. I woke up in a panic because we have a toddler, and I thought I had left him alone since 7, which is when he usually wakes up. I also couldn't find him when I went to his room, so I was freaking out until I went into my husband's office and found them there. I told my husband I was really sorry and I hadn't meant to oversleep, but I had been really tired because of the night before. He made a comment about it not mattering, and that's just what happens to naughty girls. Honestly, it wouldn't have been a big deal if it was just the two of us, but our son gets really upset by the word naughty. Calling him naughty always makes him cry. He overheard my husband calling me naughty, and he got really upset and started crying and telling my husband not to call me naughty. It took me close to an hour to calm him down. An hour, people. I want you to hear that. And I had to take him to another room because he wouldn't calm down around my husband. This child's father, not just her husband, this kid's father. Just want to reiterate these things to you. I got angry at my husband, at my husband and banned him for calling me that again and made him apologize. Apologize spelled with an S. So these people are either British, Canadian, or Australian. In front of our son. Now, my husband is upset because he said he hadn't realized, again with an S, our son could hear him and that it was an honest mistake and I had overreacted. Am I the asshole? Edit. The comment disappeared, but someone asked me why my son cries over the word naughty. It started after his cousin kept calling him naughty and said he couldn't have ice cream to upset him on purpose. He wouldn't usually cry if somebody just says the word naughty, but because my husband called me naughty specifically, it upset him. My husband knows it upsets him, and it was meant as a joke. Go off, Kings.
Man.
All right.
That kid needs a fucking spanking.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna say not the asshole because she had to calm that. I've been trying to calm a kid down who is upset for a long time, and doing it for an hour sounds like a nightmare. So I can understand why she's upset.
I'm gonna put in my new
I
Anthony
can
rule.
understand why she's mad at her husband.
Yeah, I'm gonna put in my new Anthony rule.
What's that?
This person is an asshole because they know they weren't an asshole before they wrote this.
It's interesting you think that. I think this person's an asshole. For just an asshole.
Tell me more. I'm interested.
Angry at her husband?
I think she's an asshole for getting mad at her husband because he said that. Because this man clearly didn't give a fuck and was not trying to get that baby, that child upset. Clearly was not trying to get that child upset and was just talking to his lady in a little little wink and nod. Probably they probably stayed up late for a reason. I think that's all that was.
She was getting her back blew out.
And
Clap, 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 clap.
you, not you, they as as parents probably should be working on this naughty situation to clear that kid's brain of that situation. Like, bruh, it's a perfectly fine word. It can be used as such, and you don't got to trip off of it. And but all that can't happen right then and there. I get that. That's a time tested situation. But she know her husband wasn't out there trying to pop at that damn kid. He's not an asshole. She is an asshole for getting buck on him and then and basically like, you're banned. You can't say bitch. Oh my God. See how elevated I quickly get off of this shit? No, sir. No. It's uncool. Y'all could have a conversation about it, and I get it. The kid was upset. And again, that should be y'all. It's two of y'all. Y'all can both, get in there and fight the good fight and calm the child down. But also, we need to be working on that kid's triggers, because that's terrible.
A kid crying for an hour is almost you need to take him to the fucking doctor about.
Correct.
That's a long ass time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It becomes
feelings.
You can feel no doubt. We all feel our feelings sometimes. Feeling your feelings for that depth, that length of time, it like I said, it becomes like, what's happening here? What's going on here? And so I worry that there's more to that naughty situation that we are not privy to, that I feel like maybe even that kid's parents aren't privy to. Because if it's that upsetting, it's upsetting for a reason. And I know they said, oh, their cousin was shitty to him once and used it to tease him. I'm like, sure.
You should have whooped that cousin too.
Yeah, whoop that trick for sure.
Whoop that trick.
So
that trick.
Yeah, I am yeah, I don't think this is cool.
Daniel?
Here we Box, what you got, man?
I'm gonna go not asshole. I don't have a speech.
Fair enough. I have a nice chunk of comments right here. You're the asshole. He does something nice, takes care of the kid so you can sleep in. I don't think that taking care of your kid is something nice. I think it's your job as a parent to take care of your kid. So whatever. I feel like this commentator is a bit of an asshole. I bet there are tons of mothers who would absolutely love that. And he jokingly called you a naughty girl, and you lose your shit. Who wants to bet the next time you decide to sleep in, you get woken up by your kid at 7 instead of finding him with his father while he's working after you get a few more hours of sleep? Personally, I wouldn't be talking to you more than I absolutely needed to for a while. We're talking yes, no, I'm fine, and get fucked. You need to go apologize to your husband in front of your kid. In front of your kid is all caps. Man, I'm not on that guy's side, even though I agree that bitch an asshole.
That person does not have a spouse.
This again, yes, this person has no. Yes, you are absolutely 100% correct. Somebody responds to that saying, "This also this simple, not even curse word causing a 1 hour meltdown to your son is worrying." Something I just said and Ant kind of said, but didn't fully go with me on that.
Oh no, I definitely said. I said a child crying for an hour is damn near reason to take him to a hospital. Because
one more. One of the best things my wife and I have learned from our relationship is to be aware of when you are punishing good behavior in one another. It's so easy to focus on how the other approaches things differently, or how you like it done a certain way, or in this case, an innocent teasing comment now means that her husband has been punished for doing something really good. The most significant way to reinforce a behavior change is to punish good, positive behavior. And I forgot to vote. I'm leaning you're the asshole, P. You got on your high horse after being frustrated and punished your husband for no benefit for anyone. In fact, the whole situation could be the first steps to deconstruct your child's conditioned response to naughty in a nice, fun, and loving way, showing it can be used to tease, not hurt. Instead, you enforce the child's perception that naughty is a wholly nasty and hateful word.
That's a pretty good one.
That's kind of what I was saying, but like I said, that's larger than the current situation. I can't speak to them trying to get the kid right about the word naughty. Right now, the concern is, you done hurt this child in a way that got the child crying for an hour. And so that's kind of where we have to focus. But yes, overall, we need to be working on why that word does what it does to your kid and how we can make that not do that to your kid.
I'm thinking what happened was when they was banging out last night, he's like, "You're a naughty girl, ain't you?" And he heard his mama screaming, "Oh, I'm a naughty girl. I'm a naughty girl." And he's like, "Not again. Mommy's not a naughty girl. Mommy's not a naughty girl." He was killing my mama last night.
Oh, shit. He can never listen to Beyonce's Naughty Girl? Come on, man.
Couldn't. Or Halo.
Oh, my God.
You can't play any video games from Naughty Dog Studios?
Nope. None of that shit.
Just for, gets and shiggles, I clicked on the guy who made that terrible comment at the beginning of those comments to see if he had commented further on the situation. Someone responded to him and said, it's a kid too. The whole naughty girl seems degrading, not the asshole. And that guy responded to that person saying, wow, you must have a boring ass sex life. But then again, you're probably 12 trying to give advice to grown ass adults. This man has a problem. For City 55666, you gotta calm down, baby. You gotta calm it down. You're going too hard, Pippin. I just have to know what happened with this work break thing, okay? So you're gonna get 3 this week because I gotta know, and then we'll wrap up. Am I the asshole for not attending a work meeting when I was on a break? So during every shift, they have a shift meeting. They talk about what needs to be done, what's going on. They're not required, but if you're not with a customer, you're supposed to go. I can guarantee you these people work at Target. Promise you this. Although Target shift meetings were usually held in the middle of the floor. We didn't really go to a break room. Whatever. Last night, I was working and took my break. A few minutes into my break, I heard they were going to have their shift meeting in the break room. So I grabbed my stuff and went somewhere else to finish break. I didn't feel like hearing about work stuff on my break. To me, that's the same as working on a break, and I ain't doing that. And this person's absolutely correct. I like to just sit, zone out on my phone during break. Later, when I was back working, my boss seen me and says, "Hey, you weren't at the meeting?" I said, "Oh yeah, sorry, I was on a break." He said, "Yeah, that's why we have it in the break room so that people on break can still attend the meeting. But you weren't in there. You missed some important stuff." I just said, "Oh," and went back to what I was doing. When I seen my coworker later, he said, "Weren't you on a break when we had our meeting?" I said, "Yeah, did I miss anything?" He said, "No, not really. They just told us some stuff about blah, blah, blah." I said, "Boss said I missed some important stuff, so I figured I'd ask." He said, "Well, if you were on a break anyway, you should have just came." I said, "Nah, breaks aren't paid, and I didn't feel like listening to work stuff during my free time." He said, that's petty.
Paid?
No, in this situation, the breaks are paid, yeah. He said, "That's petty. You should have just went. Then you'd have known what they talked about. Don't be that guy trying to stick it to the man." I just think if I go once when I'm on break, then I'll expect it to all the time, and then my break time becomes free work time for them. Am I the asshole? Of course not.
No.
Fuck that. Don't you ever attend a meeting on your time.
Unpaid
Ever.
They're the assholes for expecting that shit. Fuck that.
Bruh, it's like if I got to be in that meeting, then you got to pay me for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we can have that conversation, you know what I'm saying, with HR or whatever, but I will not be attending meetings off the fucking clock. Ever.
I remember I got into it with someone at work one time because I went to a book club meeting and they're like, "Oh, you got to use your lunch for that." And I was like, "No, I don't." They're like, "Yeah, you do." And I'm like, "No, I don't." And then they're like, "Do you want to call HR about it?" And I was like, "Yes, let's do that." And then they called HR, and then HR told them I was right, and they were butthurt about it.
Absolutely loved it. I remember it, and I remember it clearly.
Yeah.
I I like when it's like that righteous indignation. Like the fuck you talking about, baby? That's a work event. No.
Yeah. I was like, one, you're not my manager. Two, it was on my calendar. Three, fuck off.
There you go. 3. Oh my god. Not the asshole. For starters, meetings shouldn't be impromptu. You should know when they're supposed to be. Then you can decide to take your break either before or after the meeting. Second, you are right. If your breaks are not paid for, then you can't be obliged to essentially work during your break. That is what those meetings are. It's not right for them to choose to do it during a person's break. It's not petty. It's ethical treatment of employees. You deserve 10 minutes or 30 minutes to yourself, non-work related, per your work contract. Editing to add, if you want to try and play nice, the next time this happens during your break, choose to stay but inform your boss that this counts as work and you will be counting that, and you'll be continuing your break once the meeting is over. So don't expect me to go straight to work. This meeting took 10 minutes away from my break, so I have 10 minutes after this meeting is over. Of course, say it in a nicer way. LOL.
It reminds me of fire drills. Yeah. Fire drill, like, I get back when I get back.
Yeah. God, I don't miss fire drills per se, because, sometimes we had to go stand in the cold. But I miss us just going to the mall and going to the damn toy shop and kicking it for like 45 minutes. Oh, the elevator was busy, dog. Sorry.
I'm honestly surprised that they never built like a stairwell in there that we could use that wasn't like a fire escape. Not that I wanted to climb the stairs, but just have the option.
That building is a New Deal era building. It is old as shit, and though I know they end up doing a bit of a re-up on it and made it look a little nicer and a little different. That is more of a challenge just because the way the structure is. You know what I'm saying? That hollowed out middle with everything basically going to the outside of the building. That building it's a weirdly built building when you think about it. It's like, why is it offices wrapped around a hollow? It's terribly, it's a bad use of space when you think about it, because that whole hollow could be filled floor to floor, with spaces to, I don't know. It's just a big old gap of nothing for no reason. It's insane.
Yeah, but the gym, if you went to the gym, you could take the stairs all the way down, but we just couldn't take the stairs all the way down. I think it was just bullshit on our part.
Fair enough, man. Last one. Am I the asshole for giving my mother-in-law a fake wedding date to prove a point? Am I the asshole for giving my mother-in-law a fake wedding date to prove a point? I'm getting married in a year, and my future mother-in-law has been trying to get the date from everyone but us. We haven't even announced the date yet, and it is weird that she isn't coming to her son. I heard through the family grapevine that she wanted to know the date before anyone so she could book a trip and claim she couldn't come to the wedding. Jesus Christ. Wow. As an experiment, I got someone to give her the wrong date. She booked a lavish 2-week trip with our date falling right in the middle. I waited a little while and then at a family dinner announced the real date and watched her face fall. Mother-in-law casually mentioned that she thought I had said the other date. I pointed out we never had that talk, and she was like, oh, and shrugged. She seemed pissed and didn't speak the rest of dinner, and honestly, I thought it was just hilarious, which might make me an asshole. My fiance knew what I was doing and was okay with it. Mother-in-law went into the kitchen with her husband and was gone for a long time. I did overhear a little bit about him telling her she needs to suck it up and just be honest and stop with these elaborate lies. At the end of the night, my fiance confronted her and let her know what I had done and that he knew her plan. Mother-in-law was like, oh, so you think this is funny? I mean, it's pretty hilarious to me. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Mother-in-law, forgive me, I stayed quiet because I did. Oh, there you go. I stayed quiet because I did. I agree. It was funny. He told her that he doesn't find it funny. No, he told her that he doesn't find it funny, but he has no sympathy for a liar. Mother-in-law let us know she wouldn't be at the wedding and walked out. I heard from a couple of people that she is pissed I toyed with her and said I'm immature and stupid. To be clear, this trip wasn't some financial burden that is non-refundable. She goes on 2 to 3 international trips a year. And that was that. Is this a person the asshole? No.
Nah.
Is this future mother-in-law a problem? Yes. Should you probably not marry into a family like that? No, you should not.
Yeah.
Like, that should be a red flag of epic proportions. But different than a lot of these things we read, the son in this case seems fully aware that his mama a piece of shit and is like, you're a piece of shit. And so maybe he's just aware of it and is like, I'm not trying. I can't be dealing with this. Be a piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't think you can like not marry someone just because like one person in their family's problematic.
Mm.
I don't know.
It depends on how high up the food chain that person is. Let me tell you that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out and say like I wouldn't marry her. Like not being able to deal with their mother is even when the person knows that their mother is a POS. At times, no, not at times, all the time. That still is their mother.
Yeah, for sure.
So if it might come to the day where it might come to a head. So just don't do it, bro. Just don't do it. Or sis.
Well, I found some comments that seem to speak similar to that. Not the asshole, but I'm curious as to why she desperately doesn't want to go to the wedding. And the OP responds, there is a very long, very bad history. I don't know where to even begin, but there have been screaming matches where our husbands had to pry us away from each other. We have both gone below the belt, but at some point I realized we were destroying my fiance and wanted to fix it. But she wasn't interested. Also, I think she is scared my friends are going to do something to her because her husband and best friend humiliated me at her huge 40th birthday, and I think she thinks I want revenge. Okay. And the next comment to that is, and you want to marry into a family and endure this for the rest of her days? And the OP responds, yes, I can put up with being annoyed maybe once every month or two for the man that I love. We don't have those volatile fights anymore. I've grown up, and she decided to just smirk at me and not talk these days. Oof. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, keep going.
I do kind of think like when it's two women, it's you know what, I don't care. No. I'm gonna stick with my guns. It's hard to deal with. It's a thorn in your side at all times. If it might be a little bit easier if they live across the country or some shit like that, but I gotta say it's a no for me, dog.
Well, here, one more comment, and then we'll move on. Everyone sucks here. Don't you want revenge in a way? You played this petty prank on her instead of writing her a note that you caught wind of her plans. Your husband is upset that she doesn't want to come, and you want to clear the air because you both love him very much. To be honest, I wouldn't like you either if this is how you handle problems. Screaming, yelling, and now pranking. Have some class. Edit. To add, I am sure she has a fair share of faults too, but sometimes it's best to be the bigger person, which sounds like you have not done on what you've shared about your ideal of a good solution to a conflict. I want to read that because that's different than everybody else in this situation. But also, fuck that dude. No, dog. I hate this nonsense. Somebody has to be a bigger person. No, I don't. Sometimes a bitch is a bitch, and they got to get called a bitch, and it's got to be known that they on some bullshit. It's just real. Sometimes, not all the time, not always, but sometimes. When she's sneaking around the back way talking about when they get married, so I can fucking avoid that shit. Piss off, bro. Nah, this is not a prank that whatever. It was if anything, it was a method of discovery to see if that what they had been hearing was indeed factual. Turns out that was factual. That they mother-in-law on some bullshit and fuck them. Get the fuck out. Everybody sucks here. You suck. Loch Ness Monster Zero. Lock _ Nest Monster 0. In case y'all want to go holler at this user on Reddit. Don't do
No,
that.
thank you.
Never, ever go to one of these users and talk wild to them. You can always go and ask them, hey, what's going on in your world? I don't mind that because I have reached out to, somebody we've done a TikTok with before. So, but don't ever be a jerk because that's not the skim way. Just saying. Cheese and rice. Anyway, let's get to the next part. All right, on to the realm of entertainment and so forth and so on. You know what we do. We talk about what we watch, what we play, all that good shit. I want to let you know that I, this week, watched Fast 9, watched my 4K Blu-ray of Fast 9, watched it with my kid, who we love watching those movies.
We're
My
family.
my youngest says cars and hot chicks. Who wouldn't want to watch that? And I'm like, cosign, kiddo. That's the interesting part of having a trans male, a trans masked child. We kind of get the I get the ability to kind of teach masculinity to another kid, but in a different kind of way. But we can always like whistle at chicks together, so that's kind of dope. No cat calling, disrespectful. But we can always watch Fast and Furious, and I can be like, "Look, it's what you love most: hot chicks and cars." And it's real. It's been actually a very fun part of my kids' transition. So I don't know what else to do with that besides that, but I thought I'd share that tidbit of with you. I, as a part of my phone plan, got a free year of MLB TV, and have been watching a fuck ton of Guardians baseball and really having a good time with it. I have enjoyed it. I mean, yes, we've been winning, so I mean, what you got better than that there? But also, I just been watching baseball, which is so strange. And we've been playing a bunch of like weirdly afternoonish kind of games, and then of course, they go into the evening. But so it's been like wrapping up the workday with some baseball. And
how are you getting around blackouts? Because usually
I have a VPN on. I have a VPN. I have Express VPN,
okay.
And I just shift myself to Chicago. So far as what it seems to work the most. And so I that's what I've been doing to watch those games on my tablet here, and I can also do it on my computer too. So
yeah, because I know, like, I heard my buddy complaining about how he can't watch Guardians games because of the blackouts. But I pay.
I got it. So ExpressVPN advertised on Kind of Funny some months back, and I ended up just like taking advantage of the deal, and so I've been using it ever since. And I used it initially because we were doing the Bake Off show, and I wanted to watch Bake Off early because it comes on in England on Tuesday nights, and it came out in America on Fridays. And so I just would like shift over to London. Give me some Bake Off popping. So I got to give it up. The VPNs are very useful for that. When I was in Canada recently, I needed to switch my ass back to America to something I was watching or listening to, and I was like, the fuck, bro? I'm like, oh yeah, it's not available up here. So, but also when I want to watch the Planet of the Apes movies, they're on Disney Plus in Canada, but not on Disney Plus down here. So, again, just quick little click the button. Works like a champ, guy. So again, I've watched, like I said, I've been watching a good many. I've watched the last 4 Guardians games in this young season, and it's been real fun to watch us play some good baseball, and watch us a couple of times. I'm like, how the fuck did you fuck this up? We need some better closers, just because we be giving up straight up dingers, and I'm like, bruh. I can get it. It's cool when somebody gets on base, sure thing. But when you motherfuckers is getting it out the park on us, no sir, no thank you. Watched the season finale of Abbott Elementary, and it was so good. I really love that show. It has already been renewed. That show is currently 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it is really well reviewed and really well liked. I would take you to watch it. I'm glad next year we get a full season of it. So I'm very hyped for that. So Abbott Elementary is great. If you have not checked it out, all 13 episodes are up on on Hulu. So I'll tell you to get down with the get down on that regard. And what y'all been watching, man? I know Box said you said you've been watching Moon Knight. Anything else in your realm? Oh yeah, you were telling us how you been finally putting that, not finally, but you've been putting that 4K TV to work, watching some stuff. So
Yeah, Spider-Man. I mean, I watched the Cavs game the other night. Like, I can't really think of like anything else that I watched that was like a show or anything like that. You know,
I was
a
gonna
lot
say,
of
are the Cavs games in 4K?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But they still look all right. The Bally's app kind of sucks because a lot of the times the audio will like get out of sync with the video, and then I'll have to reset it, and then sometimes that fucking retriggers another 30-second ad.
Ugh.
But I can't complain because it's Anthony's login, and he's so gracious enough to let me use it.
Ant, what you watching? I will leave that be for right now.
I finished the morning show, season 2. This, I think it was today. I finished it, and that was really good.
Yeah.
Because I've been using a lot of free trials on Apple TV. And I finally got to finish it this time.
Yeah, good.
I finished Abbott as well. I finished Ptolemy Gray on Apple TV, and I'm pretty much done with Ghost of Tsushima. Like I just got to go meet with my uncle. I just hadn't did it yet.
Whew.
I remember
know-
what I watched now.
You let me know how that goes.
The other night, on the weekend, I watched the Death on the Nile or whatever.
Yeah. The Kenneth Branagh joint.
And then I watched The Night House.
I don't know the Night House. What's that about?
So The Night House is a horror movie that like it debuted on HBO the other day. The premise is like this woman's husband commits suicide, and then she like starts seeing things and having visions and all kinds of shit. You know, it leads into like kind of like a mystery, and
So
it's like a supernatural
more thriller than horror. You think?
It's like the two of them had a baby.
Okay. In the end, was it that she had died? They had died by a murder suicide. Feels like it.
I mean, like I could spoil the movie if you guys want.
Yeah.
Sure,
The
why
house
not?
did it.
Okay, so essentially what happens is when the woman was younger in her teen years, she survived a car accident, but she had actually died. It actually was interesting to me because it reminded me of the conversation I had with my dad about when he said he passed away, there was nothing on the other side. So this movie was interesting in that this woman said the exact same thing, that like when she passed away in that car accident, that there was nothing on the other side, that it was just, you know, darkness, and then she came back. Well, it turns out that there was something on the other side. She brought back like a demonic spirit with her that was attached to her since she was in teen years, and then it couldn't get like close to her, like it was trying. And so what it ended up happening is she met her husband, got married. They had a lake house that they lived in, and the demon was like whispering into the husband, like driving him insane, trying to get him to kill her.
Yeah.
And instead of killing her, he was murdering people that looked like her and burying them in a house that he was constructing on the other side of the lake in secret. And then finally, his guilt drove him to suicide.
Yeah.
So then that basically freed the demon up to try and go after the wife. And so she started getting visions trying to force her into suicide. But she like ends up meeting what would have been his last victim. Like, you know, ended up not killing her. He let her go.
Yeah.
And she comes to the house and is like, oh, you know, I had a vision. Basically, she started having the same visions that the main person was having. And so Um, she goes to that house, finds the bodies underneath the floor. They're all wrapped up in plastic and shit. She goes back to the house, and then like she thinks like it's her husband's spirit that's been following her around and shit. And she's so like distraught that she misses him and shit that like she hugs what she thinks is the spirit. And it's weird. It's like this spirit has like solidification to him. Like she's able to like hug and kiss and shit. And then like she like makes out with the ghost that you can't see. And then she goes, "I missed you." And then he goes, "I'm not." And I forget her husband's name, but he goes, "I'm not him." And then like the ghost starts like fondling her up and shit. And then like once she realizes that like it's not her husband, the ghost like basically beats the shit out of her and throws her like in the mirror. And then she's seeing like the visions of when from like the ghost, like the demon starts showing her like the replays of like her husband killing all those other women and shit. But it ends up being this weird, like she's going in and out of the scenes and stuff. And it ends up like basically fucking with her mind. Where you remember like in The Simpsons when like Bart sells his soul to Milhouse or whatever, and he's on the boat. It ends up like that, where like she's in this like dream state where she's on a boat in the lake with like her husband's naked at the end of the boat, but it's not her husband. It's like the demon in her husband's body.
Mm-hmm.
And while that's going on, her actual body is in a boat, a little like 2-seater on their lake, and she's got a gun. And in the dream state, the demon gives her the gun and is like, you want to see him, just click clack. And then so in the real world, she has the gun in her lap. And while that's going on, her friend comes to the house because like she's worried about her, and then sees the house in disarray and shit. Then she looks out the window and sees her out on the lake. And there's like a neighbor, like an old black man that lives like next door or whatever, that like the wife had died. So he's like an old man that lives alone. He like, has a dog. So like the friend jumps out on the lake to like stop her from killing herself. And then like when she wakes her up and shit, when she gets her out of the dream state, the demon, it ends with the demon whispering to the old black man. So it's kind of like that movie with like John Goodman and them where like the demon
King
body
Ralph?
hops.
Yeah.
No. I forget what it was called,
Fallen.
but it was like the movie
Fallen.
Yeah, Fallen. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like Fallen where the demon can body hop. Well, now that the demon killed the husband, like failed trying to kill her from the husband, and then failed to try to get her to kill herself, he now is hopped to the black guy, and he's whispering to the black guy to drive him insane to try and get him to kill her.
Gee, what?
King
All right.
Ralph.
That really took a turn. Again, I'm back in the mean streets of Camarocho and also in Jicho because that game actually takes place in a couple of different cities. In the game Lost Judgment, back in the shoes of Yagami, out here doing the damn thing, trying to solve a mystery. It's why I love those games so much, because I'm a hard-boiled detective out here trying to solve some crimes. In this case, it's personal. Well, not really, but it got a little more personal because one of the victims Yagami got to know. So sad in that regard. But that has been what I've been playing. I've been very focused on. I was futzing with my. Oh, you know what? I was playing Operation C on my analog pocket the other day. Took me back to my childhood, and I realized I don't think I ever finished that game. But I want to attempt to try and finish it sometime here in the near future, because I gotta. I've been trying to be good about finishing the whole games this year, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish Lost Judgment by the end of the month, but I could probably finish Operation C, which is the Game Boy Contra game. So might have to give that the time. But like I said, other than that, that is what's up. Gabriel don't watch TV, as y'all know. But, and anything else that you need to hear from him,
I watched Loki.
You'll have and he finished Loki. You'll have in a series of issues of On the Road with the Real ODP. will be coming to you soon. I got one that I have not edited yet that I need to give y'all patrons. That is on me, and I apologize. And the sooner the patrons get it, the sooner the freebies get it. And that's what's up. Speaking of freebies, you know what it is. Please rate, review, subscribe to the show wherever possible. It's what I ask of you for giving you this free entertainment each week. I ask you pay me back in reviews and love shown and retweets and all that good shit. Helps the show. It really does. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Stage Crunchy. Subscribe to our Twitch channel, Stage Crunchy and Milk. Subscribe to us over on Twitter. It's Skim Pod. Subscribe to us on Instagram. It's Stage Crunchy and Milk. And specifically, more than anything else, I want you over there on these TikToks. It's Stage Crunchy and Milk on TikTok. So one of the amateur assholes that you heard during this episode, you can actually watch us do. My partner Vanessa edits those. She has a good time with them. Then I go through as I post them on TikTok, and I go through and I used to do a little more editing, and I fix the. Let me tell you something. When the closed caption on my TikToks, on our TikToks, 100% solid. Never no weird words that don't make sense. It's always right because I go through each line and check the closed caption to make sure it is correct. That's the kind of effort I put into this. You know what I'm saying? That's how we gets down over here at Team Skim. If you want to support the show financially, got a few bucks tossed our way, join us over on Patreon, where members at the $5 and above tier get extra content each month and early access to new shows. Like I said, you got an issue of the Real on the Road Real ODP waiting, just waiting for me to edit and post. You also have merch available over tpublic.com/user/stagecrunchy milk, all one word. Feel free to give us a call, 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you. Let me click on our email just to make sure and see if anybody has messages this week. On the double check. No, only person who's emailed us right now is Zoom saying, we miss you. Save 50% for over the next 3 months.
No way,
Thanks,
brother.
Oh my goodness. That is Tatum 216.
See you next Thursday.
Truly, we will. That is actually, no, we actually will. Well, okay. It'll be out on Thursday. Worry not. That is Lunchbox 2099.
That is correct.
That is, I didn't get to say it earlier, but I can say it now. That's the RV in Puerto Rican. It's my man, the real ODP.
Yes, I am, and
He's
gonna
frozen.
find out who this is.
We'll discuss that shortly. Don't worry about it. We'll find out who was out here sending Gabe the goods.
Sending the hoo-ha.
I am the Internet Table 713. You have just been podcasting. I know you loved it. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.